Your mind, the ultimate weapon for resilience. Your brain is the most powerful weapon you possess. While our phones, computers, and modern technology are fantastic for staying updated, they vanish when true life hits. When you face depression, devastating hard times, or the reality of death, you can't simply Google the answer. You are fundamentally alone with your thoughts. You might consult a therapist or a best friend, but there are still 24 hours in a day where you are isolated with your mind. This internal dialogue wants to take control, pulling you into different, often destructive, patterns. If you don't control your brain, it will control you. You must direct your mind, telling it exactly where to go, how to get there, and what to achieve. You have to take the reins. Otherwise, the battle is lost. The power of hard work and repetition. My initial goal was simply, how am I going to make this work? The only tool I had back then was the concept of hard work. Everything I learned was achieved through sheer effort. You have to work hard. You have to work hard. I struggled intensely. I couldn't grasp a specific paragraph needed to pass a critical military test. I would read it again, but fail to absorb it. I would read it once more, still nothing. Then I shifted my strategy. I started writing it out. I wrote the content out once, then again, and then again. And guess what happened? I finally understood it. I grasped the concept. Overcoming impossibility, the unstoppable mindset. The same principle applied to physical challenges. I was naturally negative buoyant. I couldn't float. I would attempt to swim, fail, and immediately go back to try again. I couldn't swim, go back again, go back again, go back again. Eventually I succeeded. I realized that if I kept returning to the challenge, my mind would eventually surrender and say, okay, we're going to figure this out, because he is not going to stop. It wasn't about trying one more time. It was a continuous loop, like an alarm clock repeatedly sounding, beep, we're going back. If I failed a reading test, we're going back. I gave myself 0 escape routes, and my mind finally understood that. It was forced to adapt and overcome. Creating a new normal for success. A lot of people claim they are trying hard, but their mind knows when they are lying. It senses the lack of real commitment. When I was undergoing Navy SEAL training, people would ask, how were you there for 18 months when the program is only 6 months long? How did you survive 3 hell weeks in 1 year? I call this establishing a new norm. I talk about living in a simple $7 a month place as a child. I was content because I knew no different. That was my normal. Later, we moved to a better $236 a month place, and I thought, I never want to go back. However, if you are forced to go back to that $7 a month environment and accept, this is my home now, your mind will instantly accept it. When I was repeatedly going through the hardest parts of SEAL training for 18 months, my body was constantly breaking down. I told myself, this is my new normal. My mind processed this like a daily job. I am going to work and my job is suffering. Every day I embrace suffering, being broken, duct taping my feet, enduring stress fractures and shin splints. This being broken was the new normal. The CEO of Hardship Your Mind, Seeking a Steady State, says, if we are not broken, this isn't normal. We must be broken. This process makes your mind tougher and more resilient. People often ask me, how did you run on broken feet and fractured shins? My mind knew the simple truth. This is how we operate in SEAL training. This is what we are. I held on to that mindset. I gave myself absolutely no way out. There was nothing for me outside the walls of that hellish experience. I became, for a short time, the devil himself because that place was hell. I adopted the role of the boss, the owner, the CEO of Navy SEAL training. This is how you conquer great challenges. You completely immerse yourself in the environment. You become the challenge and deny yourself any path of retreat. When I was 297 pounds and struggling to become a SEAL, the most terrifying thought in the world, even today, was that I might have stayed that way for the rest of my life. Redefining your potential and obsession. The scariest realization I had was that I genuinely thought I was trying hard. At 297 pounds, working for Ecolab and spraying for roaches while earning $1,000 a month, I believed that was my 100% potential. I later discovered, just a few years later, that I wasn't even close. Losing 106 pounds and successfully graduating Navy SEAL training prove that, looking back, that previous effort was just a shallow attempt at trying hard. This is why people must understand the boundless reservoir of ability within them. We have no idea what we're capable of until we commit to real effort, a level of commitment that borders on obsession. This is where your self-imposed new norm takes effect. You begin to accept that life and achievement are not always meant to be fun. This acknowledgement is the ultimate measure of true effort. The psychology of invincibility people often hear my story and assume I'm naturally tough or sadistic. The truth is, I realized and mastered the mechanics of the human brain. I am, at my core, a scared individual, and that fact gives me immense strength. I had no foundational strength, so I built everything by researching the mind. The result is a feeling of near invincibility. You recognize that while you can't live in that extreme state permanently, you can access it when necessary. I know I can enter that mindset and live there. When you realize you can run on broken legs and accomplish things others are unwilling to attempt, it activates a powerful inner force, tapping into the fight response. This power is fueled by your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mechanism, and you are actively choosing the fight response. It gives you an incredible surge of energy. Imagine sitting alone at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning, duct taping your broken feet for arguably the hardest training in the world. Most of your peers are healthy, yet you are going through it broken and at a clear disadvantage. You can either feed into that pain and think, I'm broken, I won't make it, or you can harness it. If you view it as, I am broken, and yet I am still here, fighting, and I will find a way through because there is no other option, it provides a huge surge of strength. Finding the core, mineral soil, and peace when hardship truly begins to bite, your brain often shifts focus. It doesn't dwell on past traumas. It demands immediate survival. We have to run. We have to endure. Often, deep anger dissolves during intense suffering because your brain prioritizes immediate action. The motivation cannot be shallow, such as I am going to show them or I am going to prove people wrong. Your motivation must be far deeper, reaching what I call the mineral soil, the core, where nothing can burn, the bedrock of your soul. This is your core truth. You can only find this deep-seated strength by spending a significant amount of time dedicated to what you truly want to be in life. No one can simply hand this passion or drive to you. The peace found in accountability. For me, that core passion was to be a Navy SEAL, to serve my country, and to become a person I was proud of. I looked at myself and was profoundly disappointed by the lack of accountability I saw every day. Many people seek peace first, saying, you always talk about suffering and pain. I just want to be at peace. If you can find peace that way, good for you. However, I found peace on the opposite side of self-discovery. No one truly discovers their deepest self without undergoing trials, tribulations, suffering, and accountability. Accountability is suffering. It is a miserable and difficult task to hold yourself responsible every day to do the right thing for yourself and for those around you, down to the smallest details.